Hey, so have you ever heard of Boerne, Texas? Well, it's this cool little town just north of San Antonio, and if you've ever considered moving to this area, I think you need to stick around for the top 5 pros and cons of living in Boerne, Texas. Howdy guys, this is Michael McCall, real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas. I am here to talk to you today about the top 5 pros and cons of Boerne, Texas. Before we get into that, just a reminder guys, if you ever need anything whatsoever, if you need help buying or selling a house, if you just have questions about the city in general or just San Antonio, Boerne, Bulverde, New Braunfels, any of that, definitely reach out. I'm here to help you guys however I can. My information is right here. So feel free to text me, call me, email me anytime, and I'll get back with you guys. And also, if you are getting anything from these videos, I would really appreciate it if you would like, comment what you think, and then definitely subscribe and hit that little bell. Now, without further ado, let's get into the top 5 pros and cons of living in Boerne, Texas. So pro number 1 is that Boerne actually has lower property taxes than the San Antonio area. So in San Antonio, your average property tax rate in the city is going to be about 2.7 to 2.8%. Whereas when you get to Boerne, if you're in the city of Boerne, your property tax rate is about 2.14%. That's in the city. Now, when you get outside of the city, like for instance, in one of the most popular neighborhoods, Esperanza, just to the east of the city, you have a property tax rate of 1.67. So compared to the rest of Texas, really, that is pretty significant because that in turn goes with con number 1. Con number 1 is the higher property values in Boerne. Boerne is so desirable that there are definitely higher priced houses in Boerne, and the average sales price is a little bit higher. So that property tax rate actually helps you kind of counteract that a little bit. And one of the reasons that Boerne has such high prices on their property values is that it is so desirable. There are so few people moving out of Boerne. As for instance, right now, I just looked it up. Over 5,400 homes for sale in the San Antonio area. That's as of early January 2021. Out of 5,400 plus homes for sale in this entire area, only 173 are for sale in Kendall County, in the entire county that Boerne is a part of. That's not just Boerne itself, that's the entire county. That's driving prices up by itself. With that, only 9 are actually for sale under 300,000. And whenever you're looking at the median prices, which is better because it doesn't skew it like the average price does with those higher priced properties, the median price for the last 12 months here in Boerne of property sold is $430,000. With that, in the last 12 months, there have been 907 houses sold, and out of those, 385 were below 400,000. So there's still plenty of houses below 400,000 that are being sold. It's just not a whole lot compared to the grand scheme of San Antonio. So pro number 2 is that Boerne has outstanding schools. I've talked about this in some of my other videos, and if you haven't seen them yet, you definitely need to check it out, especially the one about the top schools in the San Antonio area. But Boerne ISD itself is one of the top school districts in the entire state, not just the San Antonio area. Its overall rating at texasschools.gov is 94 out of 100. With that, you have 2 high schools, 3 middle schools, and 8 elementary schools. And out of all of those schools, the range of ratings is the lowest being an 85 out of 100, which is still really, really good, all the way up to a 96 out of 100. Just crazy good ratings with Boerne ISD. Con number 2 is that the entire area of Boerne is just so awesome, so desirable that a lot of people are trying to move here. They're expecting the city and the county itself to grow by 25% over the next 3 years. That's right on pace with Comal County, which is one of the top growing counties in the entire country. So Boerne and Kendall County are right up there with it. Pro number 3 is that Boerne has all of that stuff that you expect with a small town. They have the local restaurants, the local shops, they have the wineries, they have the festivals and the events, they have everything you can think of. They have the parks, all that stuff. Pretty much anything you think of when you think of a small town perk, they got it. Their downtown is just gorgeous too. You could spend hours downtown, all the way from, local restaurants, boutiques, children's stores, pet stores, western wear stores, because this is Texas, and all the way up to art galleries and antique stores. And I'll lose track of everything I'm talking about, but just know that Boerne has a ton of stuff like this, all of the local things. Just a few of these festivals and events that they have every year is the Texas Corvette Car Show. They have the Boerne Beer Fest, the Quilt Fest. They have monthly market days every month. Also have the Keys to the Hills Hot Rod Run, which is a pretty cool event if you've never seen it. And then to top it off, they also have the Dickens on Main, which is that last weekend after Thanksgiving. It's a annual Christmas celebration that goes on downtown. It's awesome. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you got Boerne City Park, which is right on the Cibolo Creek, which you can walk up and down, you can fish in, do all kinds of stuff. And you also have Boerne Lake, which you can go do stuff at too. Camp, fish, I mean, all that kind of stuff. It's cool. Con number 3 is that even though it's close to San Antonio, you have to go down one highway. That's the only way to get to San Antonio, and it's I-10. I-10 can get pretty crowded sometimes just because of that simple fact. On top of that, if you ask any of the locals, I-10's been under construction forever, literally. But it's been under construction since 2017. I believe it is scheduled to be completed in the next couple years, but again, that's still going to be going on for at least 1 to 2 years more. They just opened the Hove lane going down into San Antonio, so that will help a little bit. But again, traffic going down into San Antonio just because of everybody being up here in Boerne and out in the hill country is pretty crazy. Now, your pro number 4, kind of playing off of that last one, is that it is close to San Antonio for work. Now, I say that the traffic is pretty bad. That's coming from me. I'm used to not having to drive very far with my commutes. San Antonio is definitely a lot better than most of the other big cities. But one thing to keep in mind is that Boerne is 31 miles from downtown Boerne to downtown San Antonio. Looking at the traffic, whenever you map it from 7 a.m., like if you're leaving Boerne at 7 a.m. to go to San Antonio, it says your drive is only going to be 30 to 45 minutes. Con number 4 is that there is not a lot of big department stores or restaurants. Boerne is all about that small town feel, and they really push to keep it that way. The only big stores that we have are the H-E-B and the Walmart, just the grocery stores. There's no Targets, no Best Buys, none of that stuff, no Ross, TJ Maxx, whatever y'all want to shop at. You got to drive down into San Antonio about 15 miles to get to the rim where all of that is. Now, again, 15 miles is not too far, but if you're comfortable with that and you're not, going to shy away from Boerne just because it's not right in the middle of a big shopping center, then definitely worth looking into. And pro number 5, which is definitely one that you cannot leave out in any pros and cons list of any hill country town, is there are the beautiful Texas hill country views. Even in the city, you get those hill country views. All of these little neighborhoods around town, you can get some houses that are just hilltop. I mean, you're looking for miles out into the distance. There's beautiful bluebonnets that bloom every year in a couple of the parks you can go take pictures at, creeks, the lake. You take a short drive up north, go to Comfort and Kerrville, which is right in the middle of the Texas hill country. And there's a bunch of neighborhoods that just, like I said, they're just right in the middle of all these gorgeous hills. So you really get the feel for being in that Texas hill country when you're in the middle of Boerne. It's really outstanding. And con number 5, the last one that I was telling you guys about, is Boerne is definitely not for you city folks. So it's a good thing and a bad thing, right? This could go a pro and con. A lot of people want to move to Boerne because it is that small town. That's what is drawing most people here. But if you are coming from those creature comforts where you can just jump in the car, go across the street and you're at Target, or you can just go just a little bit down the road and you're right there at your local Olive Garden or Red Lobster or any of those big chain restaurants, this is not the place for you. Boerne has got all the small town feel. You will find a local restaurant that is 10 times better than any of those other places. You can go support these local shops. I'm telling you guys, Boerne has everything that you need. Even though it is a little bit farther away from San Antonio, it is not technically a suburb, it is its own place. It is an outstanding place to consider, an outstanding city to consider. And if you're looking to move in the San Antonio area, this is definitely a place you need to look into a little bit more. That concludes our top 5 pros and cons list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys got something out of it. If you did, definitely make sure you like and comment what you thought. And definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see any more of these videos I'm getting. And then also, guys, again, if you need anything whatsoever about Boerne, Bulverde, New Braunfels, San Antonio, Helotes, any of those places, anywhere around San Antonio, definitely reach out to me. Again, info's right there. I would love to help you guys out any way at all possible, buying, selling, whatever. If you just have questions about the area, I'm here to help you guys any way I can. Until the next video, I will see y'all later.